morning, lovely people. It is a gorgeous Monday. It has got a hell of a lot warmer here in Norfolk, so we can kind of enjoy the outside a bit more. And we thought we would basically do like a day in the life kind of video. A lovely lady called Jenny requested that we do a kind of homeschooling explanation, like what we do. If you didn't know, we do homeschooling, and we've been doing it way before the pandemic started. I took my son out of school in year 2 and we've not looked back since. I kind of am going to explain the kind of timeline of what's been going on for us for our homeschool journey personally, but we're also going to do like a little day in the life as well. So I'm going to get ready and I'll see you in a bit. And we're back in the room. Oh yeah, look who made an effort today. Yes, I put makeup on. Yes, it's probably been the first time in about a month, but we're here. I've done it. I'm proud. Let's carry on. So the first thing today to do is just some errands. I've got some washing to quickly put on now. We've had baths, breakfasts and all that kind of thing. We're going to get out of the way now as well, and then I will tell you what we're going to be doing next. So I've had my smoothie and we are ready to go. We have to go and get food shopping today. It's a Monday. We get our food every Monday. I don't really like going on the weekends because it's super busy and it makes me really nervous at the moment. I don't really know why, it just does. So we're going to go shopping now. We're trying a new thing out where I've given the kids 2 lists. Elwyn's got a picture list with the words next to it because she can't read at the moment. But it's just going to get used to like matching pictures with words and things like that. She can kind of see it and look at it. And Harry's just got words which he can read quite easily, and they're going to kind of pick those things out to kind of get them involved in shopping, because usually shopping's not too bad. It's not like a disaster, but I kind of want to try and put learning into everything that we do, which is kind of the new thing we're trying, which I will discuss with you kind of more towards the end of the video. But today the first part's going to be like the vloggy bit. So yeah, we're going to go out to food shop. I'll try and vlog what I can, and then after that we're going to pop to the park to get them to run around and have like fun time and go out, and then we're going to go hopefully to a garden centre if they're open and pick up some seeds or have a little look and plan the patch of garden that we've got. And then we're going to go home, draw out our plan, kind of work out what we really want to grow this year as a family. Last year we grew loads, but this year I'm going to see if we can find something new that we haven't tried, or kind of rely on some old favourites that worked really well. So that's the plan. So off we go. And there we go.
I don't get my seatbelt.
No?
No.
Oh, well I'll do it for you, yeah?
No.
Yeah, is that your list? Wow. Have you got yours?
I got mine.
Cool. We've all got lists. Daddy got list?
Yep.
Cool. We're ready to go?
Yeah.
Super busy today again, but we're ready. Are you in a bad mood today?
Yes.
Yeah.
My
Do you wake up at 2 in the morning? What's on your list?
I need bananas.
Right, go and pick a banana then. Well done. Good girl. That's a good girl, well done. Got cheese, yeah?
Yeah.
So we want, usually we get this one up here, look. Just there, that one. Okay?
Okay, got it. And I need cheese, mozzarella as well.
Mozzarella's further down. Keep going, Lee. Yeah. Or is it? Where is it?
And the butter's over there.
Okay, we'll get some butter then. What's on your list? You got Mummy's list?
Need sausage.
Sausage? You love sausage.
You got sausage?
Maybe. So that was actually a little bit harder than I thought it was going to be. A few people kind of were staring at me. It was really busy, and also I got kind of pushed along by somebody because I was too busy trying to film, and then they were behind me waiting to get to the food. It was literally like rammed. I think it's like the only supermarket that's the one we use in the area, so it's kind of the most popular, which is a little bit frustrating because the one we used to go to was lovely and quiet and I could probably get away with a lot more. But yeah, we're all done. Hopefully you can kind of see what we were trying to do, and we're going to move now on to the park. Yay! We've taken the boots off. Hello. Where are you going? Yeah? Woo! We have a wounded soldier. So we are usually always totally unprepared. And Ozzy really wanted a bucket, so we had these flapjacks in my bag, finished them off, and he has a bucket. We make things here. You happy now? You got your bucket and a flapjack. Lucky. We're so unprepared, aren't we? So Kev's just gone to do a wee stop because yet again Ella needs the toilet. But we usually take them to the park, or we're going to aim to take them to the park at least 3 times a week. Where they've never had a social group, or they've never really been able to join unschooling groups or homeschooling groups because we've moved, and we were going to wait till we got here and then the pandemic and everything like that happened, we aim now to take them out to the park so that they can build social skills. And it's really important for both the eldest especially to really, sorry there's a plane going over my head, build those social skills. It's probably one of the most important things that we're going to try and aim to push the most, like active play, getting outdoors, getting exercise obviously without thinking about it, and also maintaining like good friendships, or at least trying to build kind of temporary friendships with the people that they do meet up with. We don't know anybody obviously in this county because we've moved, so starting again is going to be a little bit tricky for them, but coming to parks and constantly getting them out and exposed to other children, it's mean that it's going to make it so much easier for them to kind of have real solid friendships, which I never had, because I always had problems with school. I was a complete introvert. So going to the park, they can either make friends, or they can kind of stick to each other, or they can play alone, like Ozzy's playing on his own right now because he's not into people. It's not like a kind of you have to do it, it's just allow them exposure to other people, and they can kind of make those steps and be brave enough to kind of approach other people, or other children at least. So that's what we're doing now. And yeah, we're just sitting back and letting them play. Their 2 oldest, they're running around too much for me to film them, and there's too many children obviously. I'm trying to be very, very careful because these aren't my children. I don't want to put any other children's faces online, but they're running around and they're having a great time, so it's just lovely to see that. And Ozzy's got a makeshift bucket, as you saw, and he's literally just digging up sand, so they're really, really happy. And I think the main thing about homeschooling is play, friendships, and just socialization, which people say homeschooling children don't get, but I will tell you later my kind of thoughts about that. You're gonna do it? Woohoo! Run, Lily! It's already fallen over. Show me what you've got. Oh,
I got that.
So I've asked the kids to find some pine cones. Thank you, because they're going to make some bird feeders out of them because we get quite a lot of birds that come by the house, and also Lulu's really interested in birds at the moment. That's a good one. Thank you, and that one. So we've got pine cones. I'm going to make. Thank you. Oh, we're going to make some homemade bird feeders with them this week. We tend to rely on a lot of nature and free resources. That's really what gets us through. Homeschooling can be really expensive, especially if you've got 3 children that are all at different ages. So finding things like pine cones, which you would usually, I suppose, buy at the shop, is really helpful. So we've got loads of pine trees behind me, look. And yeah, you can just like find activities and things to do with like sticks, to do with growing. We've got a garden kind of project that we're going to be doing. That's also like a free resource that we can use.
Harry loves him. That boy right there.
Itchy belly.
Will I drop the stick?
Yeah, what do you think will happen if you drop it though?
I'm gonna try
Float. Yay, it's floating.
Daddy said sing.
What about the stick? Float or sink? Are you going to break a bit off? It's not going to break, Harry. Just put it in. Put it in. Put it in. Oh, it's floating. It's floating. Daddy lost. Gonna float or sink? Gonna float or sink, Lulu?
Float.
Yeah? Yep, yours have floated. Well done. Ozzy? Oh. Yay, floated. So if you can hear through me, we're going to change our plans because little one has had a really long day. He was up at like 2 o'clock last night. And yeah, we're going to take him home and get some lunch, and we're going to skip the garden centre today, but we'll kind of be doing like garden planning instead and do the trip another day this week. But yeah, things like this happen all the time. You have to kind of embrace where your children are at and not try and push them too far, otherwise things like this happen. I think we stayed a little bit too long, but hello, it still ended up being a really, really great day, and I will talk to you all kind of what our homeschooling setup looks like and what we're kind of going to be doing for the next few weeks, hopefully, and try and get it to work now that we're in like a new setting. So whilst the kids are having lunch, I'm going to have my lunch. Kev's doing some work, and after that we're going to kind of do a little bit of a garden plan. We're going to work out what we want to garden with, kind of what like seeds we want and what we're going to grow. So Eloin's going to draw her ideas down, and Harry's hopefully going to write his down as well. And that's basically what's going to happen today. We're going to make some Chinese dumplings tonight for dinner, so we're going to get everybody involved in that. So yeah, that's how our day is going to go today now that we've come back. And it's just like little things kind of sprinkled in with every moment of the day, like drawing, writing, learning to cook, measuring, things like that. So that's how we're kind of going to be doing things from now on. I've made lunch, put the shopping away, obviously all those boring bits that you don't want to see. And what happens now, or what we're going to kind of be starting to do now, is literally we have lunch, we kind of settle down, because lunchtime we were finding that we would tail off. So we would try and do and pack things on all day long, and it ended up that we were all so exhausted by lunch that we just wanted to kind of do our own thing and have our own space. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I don't think you should have to learn between like morning to like late afternoon. I don't think it needs to be like that. I think if you get the majority done in like a block of time, then it's a lot better and you get a lot more out of each other, especially us. Like we are guilty of being exhausted too. Like it gets to a point where we don't want to do it after like 1-2 o'clock, because it's just we've had enough. So we're gonna dedicate more of the morning, for us anyway, because that's what works, to learning, and then the evening and late afternoon is more for us to have our own time to kind of do things that we want to do. Now that doesn't mean we actually just completely throw everything out of the window past like 1-2 o'clock. What we're going to do is back there, which I'm going to show you in a little bit more detail in a sec. Is basically that we're just going to have more like quiet options, reading, workbooks, puzzles, games, things like that, that kind of start settling your stimulation down a bit, where they're losing their energy as well, because it's a long day to teach all day, and we have our own lives. I have my own kind of things I want to do and aspire to do myself, but I wouldn't be able to do them A, without Kev, and B, if I was to teach all day long, because it's exhausting. And obviously all those new mamas out there having to homeschool through not through choice. I know that there's lots of Zoom calls you've got to do and lots of things like that. I've heard like a lot of stressful parents that have come to me for advice before, and my advice would be just kind of set a block of time where you're going to do the bulk of it, and just take the afternoon to do more relaxing things, more easygoing things, have walks, go out in nature, kind of work your time around what you would normally do on a weekend, like where your bulk of your energy is and where the bulk of your kids' energy is. So it's got a little bit dark outside, so it's a little bit dark in this room, so bear with me. But I've put all of these up that I worked on all last week. Yeah, it was sunny. And what we've got here is like our weekly rhythm, what we usually do during the week, and how we can incorporate learning into each one of those things. So basically we like to go out 2 to 3 times a week. We also want to stay in all day some days of the week, and that means that we can kind of get the best of both worlds. We want to make sure we go out, get outside time every day of every week, because that's important to us. And then, so things like that, kind of like, if you can see, the things that we want and also already do in our week that will fit in well into a weekly rhythm. And then the same with the daily one. So it's the Hoover. And that's more of a day structure. So instead of like a routine where we've got like 7 a.m. Wake up, and then 9 a.m. We have breakfast, and then 10 a.m. we have to get some work done. It's more of like a kind of rhythm. So it's like how your family like grooves. Like, how does your family work? What's your natural, what do you fall into naturally? And that's what we do. So we kind of have like, we wake up, the kids usually wake up a lot earlier than us. I'm a really bad morning person. I don't wake up at 5-6 o'clock in the morning and start my day off. I can't do it. It's impossible. I much rather get up at 8-9 and be a lot better mentally than try and get up at 6-7 and just literally sit there like a potato for about an hour whilst I wake up. So the kids usually wake up, but we do breakfast together, and then I'm going to like strew some worksheets. So put worksheets out for them to kind of look at. If they don't want to do them, that's fine. We discuss the day, and we could do some reading. We work out what's going to be doing for dinner, because that's important to us. And then we're either going to go and have some outside time or prepare to go out properly. And we've got our little project this month, which is our garden planning. And things like that. So that's just like what we would do during the day, like our daily groove, rhythm, however you want to call it. But it's not a routine, because routines just, they're not flexible for us. Sorry, I thought I'd swap you out, but we're not a very structured family. We are terrible at being organised, and to try and fit into a routine, which we've tried before, it just doesn't work. Having a rhythm means that we can kind of dip in and out. So if we look at it and go, oh, you know, we actually want to go out today. So how would we structure that day? We would have breakfast, we would tidy up a little bit so that when we come home it's nice and tidy. Yeah. We would get things ready to go out. we would make sure we have kind of time roughly of when we want to go and also when we want to come back. But it changes. Like the kids today, we were out for about 3 hours because the kids found some friends and they loved just sitting there. It was warm as well, so it's comfortable for me and Kevin to sit out there as well. So we ended up sitting out there a lot longer than we assumed we were going to. It doesn't mean anything. The kids just have a later lunch. We push dinner a little bit back as well, and that's it really. So that's why I chose the rhythm over routine, because routine breaks us and the rhythm hopefully is gonna make things a lot smoother for us and mean that we don't have to stick to structures and rules and all that kind of thing, because we're not that kind of family. We definitely like to be flexible. We definitely like to kind of go out at a short notice. We definitely like to change things. If someone's not feeling something, it allows things to change, whereas a routine, it's difficult. So then the second piece of paper has what's unique to our family. So little tiny things that we will do every week to kind of make the week be exciting in some way. So we have pancakes on the weekends. We have game evening. We can make ice cream, things like that we want to do. I mean, we already do pancakes on the weekends because I love pancakes. But it makes the week interesting, it makes it fun, it breaks it up so that we have these fun little interval things that we go, oh my god, it's Friday, we have games tonight, or it's Saturday, we have a movie night. And just little things that are unique to your family and special to you that you can kind of create and start doing, and it's just fun things that mean that you can either let go. It's just something to look forward to and make the week fun, basically. And then down here is my kids' interests. So each one of them has a little list. That will change all the time, obviously, because they change all the time. Children never have the same list of interests twice. And then over here is things to do. So if we're bored and none of us know what to do and none of us have any clue, there's nothing interesting going on, then there's kind of things that they can fall back on, like podcasts, websites, to do things like gardening. We need to do that. There's twinkle sheets, there's masterclass, Skillshare, YouTube, anything that they want to kind of log on to or have a look at. If they've got absolutely nothing that they can think of that they want to do, then that's what the list's there for. And then this is the list of upcoming events that I've got all the way till the end of April. And it's like national days, Easter, the holidays, half term, fun things, silly things. Like I've got like peanut butter and jelly, dance day, superhero day, world book days on there as well. So just all interesting things that we can look at. That if me and Kev are stuck, we'll look at this one and be like, well, you know, it's peanut butter and jelly day tomorrow. Do you want to make your own jam? Do you want to make your own bread? Do you want to eat peanut butter and jelly all day? Do you want to, you know, do you want to find out the why people eat that together? Where did that come from? What's the origin of that? And that's what that's there for. So it helps us as well if we're really stuck for something to do. So the lovely lady Jenny who asked me to put this video together wanted to know kind of what we do. And I hope, even though we did an outside day today and there wasn't a lot of learning, our kids still got like a really great day out where they could learn how to be sociable. They could learn how to push themselves on certain things like the obstacle playground bits, and they could learn how relationships work with one another and things like that. And those are really core things that kids need to learn. And socialisation is something that comes up in homeschooling all the time. My children are just social. They're social with everybody they meet, anybody in the street, any stranger they will talk to, which isn't always good, but they are extremely sociable children. Ozzy not so much because he's only 2, he's still got that kind of weariness of people, but we don't push that on him. He is allowed to just play on his own all day if he wanted to. But the kids are extremely sociable already, and I've never had a problem with this. So when people say, oh, what about socialisation? I've never had a problem with it. Do I think it's the most important part of homeschooling? Like, oh, what if they don't socialise? No, not necessarily, because every time they wake up, they're socialising with adults. They're socialising when they go outside to the supermarket. They're socialising when they come inside. They're not kind of hermits. They don't like, oh, scared to even go outside. They are always socialising, no matter what the situation. They'll socialise with grandparents, aunts and uncles, all sorts of things like that. Obviously in a pandemic it's a bit different. I'm lucky I live with my parents, so they always got socialisation around them at the moment, but going out today, they loved it and they made so many friends. It was crazy. So we never have a problem with that at all. We've also gone through a massive period of changing our homeschool up by quite a bit. I first started doing like the exercise books, getting it all in like a nice big book ready to kind of present that he's done all this work. I used to make him write loads of things, draw loads of things, find out loads of things, and in the end we both burned out pretty badly. It just caused a massive rift, and we ended up always arguing and fighting because what I thought he should be doing he wasn't, and he just kept pulling further and further away. That's something that takes a lot of time, and I don't think any parent should feel guilty for thinking that they should do something. It's unfortunate that our conditioning means that we always think that our kids should be doing something. Like today, I can assume that a lot of you are watching and saying, well, there was no learning today at all. What are you talking about? You didn't do anything. But there is. You have to see it. You have to trust your children that they are learning. But we did go through a real rocky path. We've gone through everything. We took Harry out of school in 2019 because bullies. He's also on the spectrum. We don't know what he's got. I assume all my children are on the spectrum, but we're not really interested in finding out what it is at the moment. We're quite happy with just trying to work out who they are as a person, disconnected from a label and a diagnosis. So we're not really that interested in that kind of thing. Obviously I know there are parents out there that need it because they struggle more, or their children have bigger needs than mine, which is absolutely your journey and your choice. Just for us, it's not necessary. But we have been through a real big struggle with homeschooling. I have a 9-year-old who's extremely reluctant. He doesn't like to learn anything. He doesn't even like picking up pencils sometimes, and he really struggles. So we've had to kind of work really hard to think of ways to teach him that he doesn't suss me out and think I'm trying to teach him something. We also can't use exercise books with Harry because he doesn't like them. He associates them with his bad experience at school because he was also bullied, and he's very difficult. My daughter, on the other hand, who's 4, is the opposite. She's a lover of learning. She will sit and write, she'll sit and do numbers, letters, learning all the time. So I've got completely 2 opposite children, and then Ozzy's obviously 2. We aren't any way, shape or form pushing any learning on him at all. At the moment his job is just to play and to enjoy life. But the other 2, Elwyn is technically supposed to be at school now. She is 4, but she'll be 5 in May. And we chose not to even sign her up to school because obviously the pandemic happened, and I didn't want her to see school in a very strange view that wasn't really what school used to be like. And also I kind of didn't want to take her away from her family when we're all at home learning and she's not. So she's also a lot happier not being at school. And luckily we made the right decision, obviously, with what happened. Kids are in and out all the time, and I just didn't want to put that stress on her as well. So fast forward to now, and we've pretty much tried nearly every homeschooling technique I could probably think of to try and get my 9-year-old especially to kind of start learning. And it still kind of wasn't working. We tried like ABC Mouse and Adventure Academy, like online learning. We tried unschooling. We tried life learning. We tried him to make his own decisions. We tried kind of honing in on passions. We tried like normal schooling kind of. We tried workbooks. We tried sheets. We've tried a bit of both, and it seems it's not really worked very well. So I'm not an expert at homeschooling in the slightest. I don't think anybody really is. Kids always change. They're ever changing. They're fluid. They don't just stick to one thing for very long. Like, their attention spans are really short as well. So what works one week never works the second week. What they're interested in one month won't be interesting in the next month. So I've kind of forgiven myself for being all floopy and changing things all the time, because I've realised that you can't just stick to just doing what you're doing all the time. They get bored really easily. They kind of start working out the routine, and it does get frustrating. Like, nobody wants to stick to something for, you know, that much time. And what we're going to do is kind of slowly get back into unschooling, because it's a method I really loved, but it just wasn't working the way we were doing it. We personally as parents weren't getting it right either, because our conditioning kept coming in saying, you're not doing the right thing, he's not learning enough. So kind of like the life learning and the unschooling method is what we're leaning to now. We're kind of getting our rhythm, our flow, like I keep saying, and we're also going to take into account their interests. And basically every day is going to look a little bit different with a few activities going on which they can either take part in or they don't have to. We're going to have quiet time where there's books, they can kind of look at math, English, reading, writing, little things like that. And hopefully the more active we all are as a family to learn, the more they'll kind of take it upon themselves to choose their own things and to go off and do things that they just want to do without having to kind of ask my permission or look at the wall for ideas. They've already got it in their minds. So it takes a long time with unschooling, I think, and it also takes a long time to trust your children and yourselves that they're learning what they should be learning. But it's something I'm really passionate about and something I may make a few more videos about in the future. But at the moment, that's what we're doing, and hopefully it will work. This is the first day of trying it out, guys, so I made you like an update on how this has gone and how it's worked, but I'm really excited to get into it this time around, I think. If you've got any questions or any tips for anybody out there that needs them, if you're on a unschooler or a homeschooler and you yourself have some great advice or tips, leave them below. And if you've got any questions below, please leave them and I'll try and answer them as best as I can. As I said, I'm not an expert. I'm just winging it as much as you guys are out there, and I'm trying my hardest to really just firstly become a family and come together again, because we were fighting, the kids were always crying, you know, people fall out for this kind of thing. It's really difficult, it's a lot of stress and a lot of pressure. I think I'm going to leave this video here. I really hope you enjoyed it and kind of got a glimpse into a day in our life and also like a day of unschooling, and I will see you all next week. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much. Oh, I forgot to say, like and subscribe please. Thank you.